The modern women tutorials. Good men and good guys. There's a difference between the two. I notice a lot of ladies have a habit of complaining where all the good men at. Not understanding is like, well, one, they're more likely avoiding you. Remember, they're a good man. Don't assume that you're a good woman, right? Or a good female. So if you're not finding them, or I should say, they're not approaching you, coming after you and whatnot, right? Trying to scoop you up. It's more likely because you don't meet their criteria. That's part of them being a good man. They have standards. They have quality. They have value. That's why you say they're good men, because they're of quality and they're men. But there's a difference between a good man and a good guy, right? Because a good guy is not really, he doesn't have all the traits to be a man, but he's still a good person. And that's better than nothing, especially for most of you ladies. Most of you ladies definitely should be not ignoring the good guys. That's the thing. You have plenty of good guys around you. Good men, yes, they're rare. Especially if you want them to have specific things, like specific income, right? Specific height, appearance, and whatnot. Then the likelihood of you getting a guy like that is very slim, right? Can you get a guy who meets some of those criteria, but he's just a good guy? You know, he's not super great in, you know, when it comes to like money or even fitness and things like that, or even an appearance, right? But he's good enough. Most of you ladies don't qualify for anything better than a good guy, but y'all think y'all deserve better. And that tends to not be true. So that tends to create a problem when y'all ignored the good guy. The good men are not checking for you, but the fuck boys, right? The bad boys, the bad guys, they're available. They're around. But like I said, you ignore the good guys and focus on the bad guys, and then complain about the results you get by dealing with the bad guys. And then ask where all the good men at. They're busy being good men, doing things and being places that you aren't. That's where they're at. You're not gonna find a good man in the hood, right? You're not gonna find a good man, cleaning toilets or something. I'm not saying you can't find a good guy doing those things. You can find a good guy who can elevate, right, and become a good man, right? Because there's a level. It just, y'all looking for the good man at that level, and it's like, well, a good man ain't gonna be cleaning toilets. If anything, he's gonna be owning a business where he sells toilets or something like that, right? You know, he has a way of making money. That way he has money to do things, and then he does things to help other people, right? So he's busy doing good things. But a good guy, he's doing good. He's doing what he can do within his skill sets, within his capabilities, within his environment, and he's doing good. It's better than nothing. But most of you ladies just want to reach so high, and nothing wrong with wanting something higher than you. It's just the likelihood of you getting it is very, very slim, especially in this day and age. And as it goes to the idea of a good man, high quality man, high value, whatever terms you want to use, he's going to have multiple ladies. He's not going to have one. And it's not because he wants more than one. It's because more than one wants him. That's the thing. If he wasn't desired by more than one female or more than one woman, he wouldn't be able to have more than one. The only reason he's able to have more than one is because more than one want him. So, because the funny thing is, us who pay attention to the female gender, right? We know you ladies love sharing stuff. Sharing personal information, sharing clothes, sharing guys. That's not a surprise. That's been going on for a long, long time. So that's why it's funny that in this modern day generations, you got a lot of chicks out here talking about being independent. I don't need no man, but then want to argue that it's wrong for a female woman, right, to share a guy, to be in a relationship with a guy who also has another female. And it's like, but you're the one who said you don't need no man. So why are you concerned about the decisions another woman makes? If anything, you're supposed to be in support of her having the choice to do what she wants. Y'all be quick to talk about choices and making own decisions, and women can make their own choices, they have their own mind. But as soon as you see a situation you don't agree with, suddenly they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. And then you want to tell them that they're wrong for sharing a guy, that they're wrong to be in that type of relationship. It's like, no, you're wrong for judging the relationship. Their relationship is their choice, not yours. That's why it's their relationship and not your relationship. Kind of sounds like you don't like your relationship as much as you think you do, because you see somebody else's relationship looks a lot better, different than yours, definitely, but looks a lot better in context. And now you mad that your situation ain't the same, because we know for a fact that if that lady who has an issue with these other ladies sharing a guy is because she wants to be in a situation where she can have multiple guys. Okay, that's her mindset. Selfish. So of course she's going to have a selfish mindset and look at these ladies like, nah, y'all shouldn't be sharing him. Y'all should get your own men. You should be like me. But they're not like you. They're better looking. They're younger, right? They're happier. They got their own businesses. You're a stay-at-home mom, which is nothing wrong. No shade. All love for that. But the point is that they made their decision. You made yours. You should be happy about your decision being your decision, not something that other people have to do, because it's your decision. So it's your life. If you're happy with it, then great. But the fact that you want to judge other people and be like, nah, y'all shouldn't be doing that. You have your own business. You don't need him. Well, they didn't say they needed him. If anything, they're just saying they like being in a relationship with him. It's more about love, less about money or need or any of that extra shit that she tried to argue. So that was a little bit of funny thing for me to see. And of course, they were looking at her like, are you okay? Seems there's a little bit of jealousy here, a little bit of haterade. Because you're hating the situation. She's just trying to point out the fact that, he clearly likes the idea of having more than one chick, so it benefits him. But what benefits do they get? They have their own business. They're beautiful. Blah blah blah. It's like she just kept going on and on. It's like, yep, you're trying to gaslight them into thinking that their situation is wrong and they should do what you did, because you're trying to justify your decision. I'm not saying your decision is wrong for you. It's just wrong for you to think that you need to push that narrative of like, nah, y'all need to do what I do, because that makes my decision seem like it's the best decision. It's like, no, it's the best decision for you, correct, but not the best decision, period, in life. So the fact that you want to push your belief that, oh no, this is the way it should be. Like, for example, I'm not trying to push out there, how women should be or how men should be. I'm just pointing out there's a general rule, right? There's general theme, right? Characteristics of a man and characteristics of a woman, which is what I'm sharing. These are the typical old school characteristics. These are characteristics that existed in the past, and a lot of them exist less now. And I'm seeing a trend, right? I'm seeing that guys are not being men. Females are not being women. So this is why I'm like, oh, well, clearly no one knows how to be a man, know how to be a woman. Also, like how men and women used to be. So I'll tell you what men and women used to be. Basically, I'm just giving you a history lesson, right? Letting you know how men are, how women are in the old school ways, right? I can only talk about what I know. And this is what I know. I know about men. I know about women, right? I'm old. I should know these things. If I was born yesterday, I understand it. That I wouldn't know any of these things because I was born yesterday, right? But I'm not. So clearly, I'm old enough to know, how men were in the past and how women were in the past, and how when you weren't living that way, you weren't beholden to those standards of being a man, those standards of being a woman, right? Those gender roles, as they call it now. When you didn't adhere to them, things didn't work out. The number of cat ladies, the number of guys regretting, their past decisions. It's like, oh yeah, you chose a different path. It was your choice to make. But if you don't like the outcome, well, you should have thought about it. Every year, here is a little pro tip for you ladies. Every year, evaluate your life. Every year, just see. Like last year, hot girl summer as an example. Not a good example, but an example nonetheless. You shouldn't have a hot girl summer, but that's for a different topic. The point is, let's say you had a hot girl summer last year. If you didn't really get too many positive results, a lot of drama, a lot of issues happened during that year, then I don't recommend this year for you to do the same thing as you did last year, because what's going to happen is you're going to get the same results. Right? That's the thing. If you didn't get positive results doing something one way a year ago, you doing it again is not going to change much. It's very rare for you to do the same thing and get a different result. If you do a math prompt, 2 + 2 = 4, okay, it should just be 4. The next time you do it, it shouldn't be 5 all of a sudden, right? It should be the same result. Problem is, too many people like to think that life is so random, so random, that if they do the same thing on a different day or a different year, they're going to get a different result. And it's like, nah, it doesn't really work that way. Especially if you're doing it almost exactly the same as you did it a year prior, yeah. Because here's the thing that tends to not change that much is you. You're the common denominator in all your relationships. So if you had a bad relationship last year and you get in a new relationship this year and it starts turning bad, there's a high probability it's you. Remember, you're with a new person, but you are still you. You're only a year older. You're you a year older. That's it. You're still you. So if you haven't changed in a year, like mentally, where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be the same person I was last year, like I'm going to drink less, I'm going to exercise more, whatever, right? You're going to be different. That's good, because that would create a different result, because you're not doing the same thing this year you were doing last year. So you should get better results. I mean, that's what I believe, and that's what I want for you ladies to have, is better results by, doing things differently. The thing I notice is that y'all ladies tend to do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Keep dating the same type of guy over and over again and keep wondering, why are all men trash? It's like, no. It's all the guys you keep picking, which are the same type of guy, are trash. So stop picking trash. You keep picking trash in the same locations. If you go to a club and pick up a guy, well, you're picking up trash, right? If the guys you date are guys you work with, or the guys that your female friends know or hang out with or dated before, and they turn out to be trash, no surprise. Again, you're picking up trash again. So don't be surprised that your pattern is you pick trash. Maybe you should make a habit of stop picking. If you're the one who mainly made the decisions, you're the one who mainly, see a guy you like and then you look at him and wave at him to try to get his attention, that means you're picking him, right? Maybe you should stop that and let them pick you. Let them show you attention. Let them wave at you. And then you approach them and go from there and see if that works, right? Try something different. You might get different results, because typically you do. So So just saying that, you know, you ladies have options. Always have, but you have options. Right now, it's important to figure out, what do you want to do? Do you want a really successful guy, really good-looking guy? Well, you're gonna have to share him. That's typically what happens with somebody of high quality, high caliber. You gotta also understand he has good genetics, right? If he's a good-looking guy, he's successful. So one, that's good genetics for making babies. Two, that's generational wealth right there. You know the kids are going to be taken care of financially because you're with a guy with money, right? You're a guy that knows how to make sure he, provides security and provision, all that good stuff, right? Logical. That's why sharing is not a problem. You get a lot of benefits from that, right? And let's say you don't like to have sex that much. More reason for you to be okay sharing that guy with another chick, because she'll be the one to take care of that for you. Right? She'll take care of that part of the situation while you take care of the other stuff, right? The funny thing is, the way things are nowadays, especially with a lot of independent women, even though you always were independent, always could choose your own destiny, but that's for a different conversation. Point is, because of this extra anti-relationship mindset of independent women, there's creating a situation where guys are, getting into the habit of like, okay, one chick is not enough. You're going to need more than one chick, right? Because everything you want from one partner, it's going to be hard to get from that one partner when everybody's trying to be different, trying to do things differently. Right? You have a chick who's attractive but don't want to have babies. It's like, that's a waste of good genetics. You got good genetics. You're naturally beautiful. You're not beautiful because of your makeup. You're beautiful because you are beautiful. You have good genetics, but you don't want to have babies because you're pro-choice. It's like, well, that's a waste. But okay, you could be the trophy wife. You're here because you look good. But I need somebody to make babies with, so I need a chick who has decent enough genetics who wants to make kids. Right? Or do the surrogate thing where you get the eggs from the hot wife, right? And then, scientifically combine it with your sperm and put it into the other wife, who's not as attractive, for example, right? But she has a uterus. It is good enough to incubate a baby. So you can do that type of dynamic. And the other chick doesn't have to be in the relationship. He could just pay. He could just pay for her to be a surrogate. That way, it just depends on the dynamic. There's different ways you can do it. That's the thing. There's so many different ways you can do a relationship. Can you have a relationship where it's just you and one guy living happily ever after? Yeah. But the thing is, that type of guy who's willing to do that, right? Who wants that life, those guys tend to not have a extravagant lifestyle. Their life, those types of guys tend to have a more simplistic, more, just enough, not just enough to survive, but like just enough to be comfortable. Like they don't go extra. So that's why you gotta pick and choose. That's the end of the video.